All right, we're back with more Crystal Caves. We might as well go into this level, I guess. And it's reverse gravity. Okay. So this is a level I've played. So we didn't have Crystal Caves, we had Secret Agent, but a friend of mine did have Crystal Caves, and I watched him play it a bit, although I don't remember playing it much at his place. Maybe he was the kind of friend who didn't like people playing his game, you know. We've all got that friend. Well, maybe not anymore now that we're adults, but we all had that friend when we were kids. Oh, no, that was... Oh, God, lucked out there. If this was Secret Agent, I'd have missed him. So this is interesting. And I like it. It's a nifty gimmick, because you do have to think about sort of just what you can walk down onto. Okay, well, obviously... Obviously don't want to go that way because there's a spike, so let's go this way. In the last part of this series, I was discussing sort of the current retro gaming obsession almost with the Nintendo Entertainment System, which I've got to say is very interesting from an Australian perspective, because the NES... It wasn't a failure here by any means, but it finished a distant second to the Master System in Australia. For a number of reasons. Nintendo really didn't prioritize it. They didn't distribute it here themselves. Mattel were responsible for it in Australia. And it was just... It was badly managed. We got what particularly good games we got quite late. And the Master System, by contrast, was marketed really well. It was distributed really well. And it was just a huge hit. So, you know, a lot more people had Master Systems than NESs. And so the sort of retro nostalgia for it in Australia is almost all retroactive. And so the current sort of retro gaming is the NES sort of element, like all these mock NES games that seem to be showing up on indie developments and all those kinds of things. It's something that doesn't quite mesh in my head. And for me, I mean, I didn't even have a Master System. We had PC. We had DOS. So for me, like, retro gaming, the first thing that will always come to mind for me with retro gaming is, well, games like this. I didn't play this one when it was new or when it was when I was young. Like, I don't have nostalgia for Crystal Caves. But this is the style of game that I think of. So yeah, it is interesting to see sort of how much... And I suppose that it's a numbers game. Like, the NES was not a success here, but Australia is a very small market. So while it might not have been a success here, sort of there is an element of, but it was, even as a failure in Australia, it was still much more successful than the Master System overall. Like, the Master System won in Europe and Australia and Brazil, but the fact that it won those 3 territories so conclusively still means, like, still leaves it miles behind the NES worldwide. I think probably the thing about DOS gaming is that it was a truly international language, kind of. In the UK, they had the Spectrum, which is more successful than like the Commodore 64 and stuff. Like, you know, you had that sort of specky Amstrad Commodore fight, but that was a very UK thing in a lot of ways. Like, the Spectrum wasn't as successful in other countries. But DOS was everywhere. DOS was ubiquitous. And so in every country, people played shareware games, and they, like, it's just a much more universal language, I think. But also, it's not as universal language because less people played it, I suppose. So maybe I'm talking out my ass. I'm just rambling at this point. Been too long since I recorded anything. Don't know what to talk about. David Newton did a great review of the 3D Realms anthology, which I watched recently. And he comments that you can actually see in the bottom left-hand corner Mylo's net worth of what he's collected in the caves. And questions, and points out, you know, it's never exactly explained why Mylo has to keep trying to do get-rich-quick schemes rather than just, you know, cashing in all these crystals. And yeah, a sign of the severe inflation of the distant spacefaring future. Oh, who turned out the lights? This is very keen too, although not so voluntarily. Okay. In the second episode of Commander Keen, you can turn out the lights in some levels as a tactical decision. Oh, that looks promising. Thank you. You can turn out the lights in some levels as a tactical decision because it prevents the enemies, or most of the enemies, from jumping. So you can use it to trap them in certain areas because they won't, like, you can lure them into a pit and then turn out the lights and they won't jump out of it. Yeah, that was a bit ambitious. Okay, so I need to get a green switch and a red switch. And I need to get rid of these spiders. Oh, jeez. Okay, so... Got him. Can I make this jump? Oh, I can. I didn't think I could, but okay. Oh, no, I can't. I still can't shoot that thing though. Well, I feel like I wanted that power up for this guy. I mean, forget the crystals. Catch one of the dinosaurs. Where's that floating gun? There it is. Well, it's not floating, it's just going back and forth. Okay, so we've got the key for those chests. I do like getting the BONUS letters in order. I find it very satisfying. I actually just uploaded the part of the Duke Nukem playthrough where I quote Taylor Swift and then moan about her for 5 minutes. So I'll try not to do that again. Falling rocks. There are indeed falling rocks. I can see them falling. Can I make that? Yes, I can. I feel like I should be able to hide under platforms from the falling rocks. It looks like I can't. I can, however, at some point reverse gravity, which is good to know. Keep an eye out for these stupid rocks. Oh no. Okay, so I need to reverse gravity to get to that switch. Okay, so how long do I get with this? 20 seconds. What can I do with 20 seconds? Alright. Okay, so that switch is off. I think I've got all the crystals down here. Ah, that switch would have been those guns. And mercifully, you do not get rocks falling on you when you're at the top of the screen. Something, as I was saying, I was watching David X. Newton's review of this game, and he mentions that as a brilliant design decision, and I've got to agree with him. A lot of lesser games would have just kept pummeling you with the rocks, even though you had no time to dodge. It's good foresight to make sure the player is safe when they don't have time to react. Because otherwise the player will wish death upon you. And no one wants death wished upon them. Ooh. Alright, another one done. Okay, well, we seem to be making fairly good progress. It is very familiar, like, after playing Secret Agent so much, it feels very familiar. Okay, where are we now? Okay, I'm assuming that switch is going to turn off that gun, because otherwise there would just be no way to jump up there without getting hit. Like Secret Agent, the bonus it gives you for finishing the level without taking any damage sort of implies that can be done in every level. Ugh. Can I just dodge you guys? No, apparently not. See, it can be done in every level. It doesn't mean it will be done in every level. I'm just trying to think, like, you know, there's 5 snakes, sink 10 shots into them, and then still have to dodge puddles of snake goo on the floor. Whoops. I thought he was going to hang there for a minute. Am I going to have to go back through the snakes? Also, the snakes are positioned so you can accidentally shoot the air... Oh, I've already switched it. The air generator. Oh, whoa. I don't know if I was meant to be able to do that. Oh, no, I need to get that before the gravity runs out. Okay. Down we go. No falling damage. Oh, I don't like the look of this at all. Okay, so that should keep me safe from the lasers while I get these last few crystals. I could use that to go up and get those blue mushrooms, but I'm already on the edge of losing a life and or losing a try on level. I don't have lives to lose after all. Okay. We might tackle this next level in the next part. I hope you're enjoying this playthrough of Crystal Caves as I continue my quest to play through everything Apogee ever made. Maybe. It seems a bit ambitious now I say it out loud.